and gains, guys. AJ here. Now, what is acceptable as a squat is parallel to the ground or deeper. If you're not parallel to the ground, then you're wasting your time squatting, because that is not a squat and it's not beneficial to you at all. So I'm here to help you, and I'm here to give you tips on how you can have a deeper squat, because I've faced the same issue myself. I was not able to squat deep enough when I started squatting, and I haven't been squatting for long. I've been training for 2 years in total, and I've only been squatting for the last 7 months, but properly squatting now for maybe about 2-3 months. And the reason why I wasn't able to squat was because when I first saw someone perform the squat in the gym, the behind the back barbell squat, I was tempted to do it. On leg days, I never did the squat. I would just go do all the leg machines, such as the leg extension, the leg press, and all the other machines, and I would avoid the squat completely. The reason why I would avoid the squat completely was because I would imitate these guys doing the barbell squat, and I would try and do it with my body weight. So there'd be a mirror in front of me and a mirror on the side at my gym, and I would put my hands across my chest and I would attempt to do a bodyweight squat. I would get around this low, so not even parallel, not even close to parallel, and I would feel really stiff and I would lose balance, and it kinda scared me away from actually performing the barbell squat, because I didn't want to go straight into the barbell squat, attempt it and injure myself or something, right? I blame my flexibility for this, and I blame the stiffness that I had down there in my legs, and I didn't believe that I could squat, so I just completely ignored it until one day I thought to myself, look, AJ, you need to perform the squat. It's a great compound exercise. It's probably the best exercise you can perform overall. And I convinced myself to go to the gym and attempt to do squats. So I attempted to do my first barbell squat 7 months ago, like I said, and I have the same problem. I couldn't go low enough. I blame my flexibility. I just genuinely believe that because of my body, I could not squat to parallel depth or even lower. So, I mean, I didn't give up on the squats. I still carried on squatting, and sometimes I did hit that parallel depth and sometimes I didn't. So my squat used to be really inconsistent until the last few months. Now this technique has helped me a lot, and that technique is warming up the lower region of my body where all the stiffness occurred. So what I did was I trained legs with a friend of mine. We performed these warm-up exercises, and then we went to the squat rack to squat. And it was me first. I was nervous because I didn't want to make an ass of myself in front of my friend. I used to avoid training legs with people because I knew that they would laugh at my squat form, because my squat form is, like I said, it was inconsistent, right? So I started off, I did my squat, and I quite easily hit parallel, and I was thinking, this is alright, this is comfortable. I hit that parallel depth and I squatted properly. Like I said, parallel is acceptable. If you're not hitting parallel, then you're wasting your time squatting. And yes, I did waste my time sometimes squatting. So I hit parallel, and I continued to do this to warm up. I continued to warm up my hams and my glutes before squatting, and it worked fine for me. It worked fine for me to hit parallel. Until recently, I think it's been about a month or two now. The last month or so, I've wanted to go deeper than parallel. I've wanted to go arse to the grass, and I've implemented a new warm-up strategy which has helped my squat even more. I was just thinking to myself and talking to myself subconsciously, trying to figure out where I was the most uncomfortable in the lower region of my body, and it came to me. I figured it out. It's my hip flexors. My hip flexors and my groin region, my inner thighs. I noticed that when I go down for the squat, I'm really tight in these areas, and these areas tend to get really sore when I squat. So I thought, what could I do to warm up these areas? And it came to me. It came to me. It was like a genius idea that came out of nowhere, but really I should have figured this out a long time ago. It's the hip adductor and abductor machine. Those are the two machines that I needed. The hip adductor machine is that girly machine, by the way, where you place your thighs on the pads and you push them outwards, and then the hip abductor is the one where you place your thighs on the pads and push them inwards. I'll put up clips on this video somewhere of me performing these exercises. These exercises really helped, and it worked. I squatted and I squatted deeper than parallel. And it's something that I'm still working on. I really want to squat deeper than I squat already. I squat deep enough. As long as it's below parallel, I'm happy, but I wanna be able to almost hit the ground with my glutes, you know. I want that full deep squat, and that's something that I'm working on. So I started warming up with these exercises, accompanied with the warm-ups for my hams and my quads, and then I attempted to squat, and it worked. I went deeper than parallel. I was so chuffed. That's all I needed to do. I just had to warm up my hip flexors, warm up my inner thighs, warm up my quads, warm up my hams, basically warm up my legs enough for me to be able to elasticate, is that even a word, elasticate the area, because it was so stiff, in order for me to squat. So it wasn't because I was inflexible, even though I am inflexible, I'm not flexible at all. It's because the muscles were not warm enough. Some people are so lucky that they can go straight to the squat and perform an arse to the grass squat. But then you get people like me who are just naturally stiff in their legs, and we have to warm up. And I know that there's a lot of you guys out there who have the same problem. So if you feel that you're not flexible enough and you're really stiff in your lower limb area, then you should warm up your muscles, then attempt to squat and see how it goes. It's worked for me, I've advised other people, and it's also worked for them. In fact, I was at the gym the other week, right, and I was performing the squats, and two guys came up to me and asked if they could share the squat rack with me, because there's only one squat rack in my gym. So I said, fine, that's okay with me. So I did my set. One of the guys jumped in, did his set, but the other guy didn't want to squat. He didn't want to squat for whatever reason. I thought nothing of it. So I went back to do my set again, and his friend came to do his squat, and the guy sitting out was just sat there watching. So I sat next to him and I said, why are you not squatting? Why are you sitting out? Are you not even going to attempt it? And he said, I'm not flexible enough. I gave him these techniques. He went upstairs where all the machines are and whatnot. He performed the warm-ups, he came back down, he performed the squat, and he did just fine. He didn't go deeper than parallel, but I think a lot of confidence goes into that as well. But he performed the squat at parallel depth, and the squat was fine. So it works. Give it a try. When you warm up, it's not about weight, it's about warming up for muscle. So if you're going to use the hip abductor and adductor machines, as well as for leg extension and for leg curl machines, make sure that you're going for reps and really get that area warm. Don't worry too much about the weight. Just go high and keep warming up the intended muscle until you feel like it's ready to perform the squat. Anyway guys, that's enough of me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps with your squat. And if it does help with your squat, don't forget to comment on this video and give me feedback on whether these techniques helped or not. Don't forget to comment, like and share, and remember, if it don't make gains, it don't make sense.